Hey there, guys. I am here with my NXT Deadline review and ratings. Overall, I thought the show was pretty average. It was nothing special. It's not one of those pay-per-views that's going to go down in history or anything like that. But it's definitely not the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen. It's not horrible. It's really one of those mid pay-per-views. First off, we got the kickoff show match between Nathan Frazier and Axiom, and overall, I thought this was a pretty solid match and a great way to start it off. Start off on a high note. I think that these two guys work really well together in the ring. I mean, they have very good in-ring chemistry, and so yeah, I really enjoyed the time that they had in the ring, and so I am going to give it a B-. And surprisingly, Axiom did end up beating Nathan Frazier, which I thought Nathan would win, which he didn't. And then they were past the kickoff show and on to the regular show. And they clearly wanted to start off by having the fans get hyped, so they brought out CM Punk. Shawn Michaels was in the ring, and then CM Punk ended up coming out, and he was basically saying he might come to NXT. He might not be on Raw or SmackDown, which we know the possibility of this happening, him going on NXT rather than the major brands, is extremely low. I don't think it's going to happen, but he did kind of put that possibility out there. And if you can see in the picture, it was kind of a funny moment because he was wearing a Bret the Hitman Hart hoodie, and so Shawn was messing around, so CM Punk said, "I thought y'all made up." And it was a fun segment and a great way to start off the regular show. Next up, we have a match for the NXT North American Championship between the current champion at the time, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, versus Dragon Lee. The in-ring work between the guys was pretty decent. It was nothing special, but nothing too bad. So I am going to give this match a B-. It was alright, but it was kind of surprising to see Dragon Lee get the win and get the NXT North American title. And I did think Judgment Day would eventually come out and help Dirty Dom, but they didn't, and so yeah, he ended up losing. But in my personal opinion, the greatest part about this match was the amazing commentary from Booker T and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio came out and he was the special guest announcer. And so Booker T was kind of siding with Dominic Mysterio, and he would throw in some funny stuff saying like, well, it's not his fault he has a deadbeat dad. And it was just really fun because of course Rey Mysterio would defend himself. So I really enjoyed that. And then of course in the end when Dragon Lee celebrating his victory and his win for the title, Rey Mysterio was there celebrating with him. And so they then went on to the Women's Iron Survivor match. Starting off the match was Blair Davenport and Fallon Henley. And then Tiffany came in at 3, Kalani at 4, and then Lash Legend ended it off. But when Lash did come in, she looked like an absolute beast. She was going through everybody, and it really showed that she could have won the match. But me being pretty dead set on Tiffany Stratton taking the win, I really thought she was going to do it. She didn't. It ended up being Blair Davenport coming out on top. And overall, the in-ring work in this match I thought was great. There were some amazing spots by Tiffany Stratton jumping off the cage, and yeah, just a lot of great things were happening. But then at the end, of course, like I said, Blair Davenport taking the win. Lyra Valkyria came out there to say some stuff, and then she was jumped by the returning Cora Jade. And I was so excited because I'm a huge Cora Jade fan. I think she's a phenomenal talent and definitely could be NXT Women's Champion. And so at NXT New Year's Eve, we could see a triple threat match between Lyra Valkyria, Cora Jade, and Blair Davenport. But overall, I personally enjoyed the match a lot, and so I am going to give it a B+. Next up was Lexis King versus Carmelo Hayes, and going into this match I was pretty excited because I was ready to see Lexis King shine considering I'm a big fan of his. And people can say what they want, but I thought he looked great in this match. And so yeah, I overall really enjoyed this match, and so I am going to give it a B-. The match was going pretty nice. Brian Pillman, Lexis King, kind of made it look like he was going to get the win there for a little bit, but then Carmelo Hayes ended up hitting him with a nothing but net, and he couldn't kick out. And then even after Lexis's defeat, he says, "I wasn't the one to attack Trick, but I did appreciate the pay-per-view spot." Next up was the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Starting off the match was Josh Briggs and Dijak, and just looking at them in the face, they look just alike. They're like literally the same size and height and everything. I just really noticed that when they were wrestling each other. And then Tyler Bate came in at number 3. Trick Williams at 4, and then Braun Breaker came in at the end looking like an absolute beast. He showed that he could have won that match. I honestly thought he was going to win the match right when he came in because he was just spearing everybody, pinning everybody, and put points on the board right when he came in. So he definitely looked the most dominant in this match. And there was 2 minutes left on the clock. Trick Williams has 0 points on the board while everybody else has points. And Trick Williams makes a comeback. It's like almost 10 seconds left on the board, and he gets his final fall. So Trick Williams is able to win this match. And the ending was just so good. It's one of the best moments of the entire show. I mean, it really showed the talent of Trick and how over he is in NXT. I mean, hey, I went to a live Raw show and people were yelling, "Whoop that Trick." So, hey, he's over. He's the most over guy in NXT right now. So, yeah, overall, the in-ring work between the guys were really nice. I enjoyed the match. But the best part about it was the ending story of Trick Williams. So, I am going to give this match an A-. Next up was the steel cage match between Roxanne Perez and Kiana James. The biggest part of this match is Izzy Dame ended up making an appearance and smashing the steel cage door in Roxanne Perez's face, leading to Kiana James being able to hit her finisher and end off the match with a win. So Kiana James got the win, which I'm happy about because I think she's a nice rising star. Overall, the in-ring work between both women were pretty solid, and so I am going to give this match a C+. Now it was time for the main event for the NXT Championship between Ilya Dragunov and Baron Corbin. Never in my mind did I ever think Baron Corbin would win this match, and I was correct. Ilya Dragunov is going to hold that title for a while, I think. Ilya is just such a phenomenal talent, and Baron Corbin did a great job of putting him over. And as all Ilya Dragunov matches go, he looked phenomenal in the ring, and he just sells his moves so good. And it just seems like every time they do a move on each other, it's like, ooh, I know that hurt. So overall, I enjoyed this match, and so I am going to give it an A-. But one of the biggest parts about this match is at the end, Trick Williams kind of came out because he won the match, and so he's going to be going against Ilya at New Year's Evil. But then following right up behind him, stalking him, was Carmelo Hayes. He was just following up behind him. He had that eye on him. It looked like he was literally about to jump Trick Williams. And right when it looks like he's about to attack him, the show goes off. So what a cliffhanger to end off on. I really enjoyed the end of that show. And so now it's just got that feeling that, I'm ready for NXT. I want to see what goes on between these two. So yeah, overall, I thought NXT Deadline was pretty average. Nothing too special, but nothing too horrible. But yeah, it definitely had its very exciting moments. The Cora Jade return, the Trick Williams comeback return, when it looked like Carmelo Hayes was about to jump Trick Williams, and a bunch of spots in the matches were great. So yeah, I'm ready for NXT to keep rocking. I'm a big fan of NXT. I think it's the best product of wrestling right now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review and ratings, and I'll see you guys on the next one.